Hello people, a very good day all of you. So guys, we're doing this chapter on accounting procedure, learning the rules of debit and credit. So guys, we understood that accounting is a systematic process. So here system refers to as double entry system of accounting that has been proposed or given by Sir Luca di Passio, where he says that every transactions will have two-fold impact. In that one will be debit and another will be credit, right? So the question is, sir, how do we know that what should be debited? How do we know what should be credited? So for that, two rules have been proposed. One is the traditional classification rule, which is in other words called as golden rule of accounting. And second is modern classification, which is also called as accounting equation approach. So last class we had discussed upon the traditional classification, where we learned that here any transaction, or you can say any account, you'll be able to either classify them under personal, real, or nominal, right? So all the accounts which is having the flavor of income, expense, gain, and loss, you will be heading towards nominal account. You'll be heading towards the nominal house. So this is nominal account. So all the items which are having the nature of income, gain, and expenses bar losses, right? So if you are having a flavor of income, if you are having a flavor of gain, expense, and losses, then the rule that you will follow is debit all expenses and losses, credit all income and gain. If you are an expense, debit yourself. If you are a gain, credit yourself. If you are a loss, debit yourself. If you are a income, credit yourself. Rule is very simple. Real account says that all the people, those who are having the nature of assets, except bank and debtors. One, and except accrued income, and outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses is liability. Outstanding expenses, pending expenses, expense to be paid in future. Outstanding income is only accrued income. Accrued income is outstanding income. Prepaid expenses. Revise kiya bande ne. Prepaid expenses. So except bank debtor, accrued income, and prepaid expenses, every other assets you will look up to the real account. You will go to the real account where the rule is debit what comes in. Cash, for example, if I keep on doing sales, cash will keep on coming in. So debit cash is coming in. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So here bank and debtor is excluded, guys. So bank and debtor will go where only one account is left, which is personal. In personal, there are three more subcategories: natural personal, artificial personal, and representative. So bank and debtor forms part of natural personal or artificial personal, because debtor can be human being also. So it can be either natural personal account or artificial personal account. And your accrued income and prepaid expenses will always be representative in nature, because those four items are always representative. So this is representative personal account. So then we head towards personal account. If you are having the nature of liabilities plus those four items, which four items? Bank and debtor, accrued income, prepaid expenses. Bank, debtors, accrued income, and prepaid expenses. These are the four exceptional assets. All this will come under personal account, right? Depending on their nature. If they are natural people, they are natural personal account. If it is artificial person, they are artificial person account. And those four extraordinary items: prepaid expenses, outstanding expenses. Prepaid expenses. Prepaid means advance, expense paid in advance. Outstanding means pending. Pending expense means liability. Second is accrued income and income received in advance. These are the four extraordinary items. So this will come under representative. So the rule that will follow is debit the receiver, credit the giver. So you'll be strictly applying these rules to decide what we will debit and what we will credit. So can we quickly take one example? Can we quickly take one example and do it, guys? Please take your illustration number 1, which is on page number 6.4, guys, which is in 6.4. Illustration 1 says that classify the following accounts into personal, real, and nominal. Okay, the first item is cash, guys. Cash. So before you jump, what is the step? What are the steps that we learned? Identify if it is a business financial transaction. Second, measure in terms of money, monetary value, measure in terms of money. So once you put a tick mark for these 2 points, then which means you can go ahead and do the accounting. For you to do the accounting, you have to identify any 2 accounts in the transaction. So identify which two accounts are affected. So here they have given you a cash account, guys, which means they have picked and given you one account. Clear? So after identifying the account, what will you do? So let's suppose cash account and sale account. 4 will be the 4th item. These accounts belong to which quadrant? These accounts belong to which quadrant? So identify which quadrant they belong to. So cash is belonging to asset category. Then ask yourself, if cash is asset, is it coming in or going out? If it is coming in, debit. Going out means credit. 5th one is what? Apply the rule. Finish. So here, guys, they have given cash account. So can I say that first step done, second step done, third step they have given? They have identified one account and given. Now what is the next step? Identify which quadrant it belongs to. So cash belongs to asset quadrant because we own it. Cash in hand, we own it. So it is asset quadrant. Being an asset, what rule will you follow? Being an asset, you have 2 possibilities. Either you will go to the real account or the personal account. So to personal account, which asset goes? Bank, debtor, prepaid expenses, and accrued income. So is cash coming under that category? No. So the only option left is real account. So identify which quadrant, apply the rule. Game over. Bank, guys. Bank, first of all, they have themselves chosen the account. It's a bank account. Before that, before you say the last step, you have to tell me which quadrant it belongs to. Bank belongs to asset quadrant. So which rule will you follow? For assets, you have 2 rules. One is personal and real. Bank is an artificial personal account. So the rule what you will follow is personal. Comfortable? Next is outstanding salaries. I told you before the expenses and income, if there is a prefix, then that becomes your asset or liability. Outstanding salaries means not expense. If you have a prefix, then it becomes either asset or liabilities. Now, what is outstanding liability? Outstanding means unpaid. Unpaid expenses means I have to pay it in future. Anything that I have to pay in future is liability. So this is liability. Being a liability, that is what did you identify? Which rule? Which personal? Tell. Representative.
Representative.
That was extraordinary item. Outstanding expenses, accrued income. Outstanding expenses, outstanding salaries expense now. So outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, accrued income, and income received advance. These are the 4 extraordinary items, guys. From expense point of view, there are 2 items. Outstanding expense, prepaid expense. Outstanding means pending. Pending expense, which is pending for payment, which means I'll pay in future. Liability. I'm just giving outer line. I'm not explaining the complete meaning. Prepaid. I've made the payment. I made the payment in advance. In return, what am I supposed to get? Goods or service? If that fellow does not give me goods, if that fellow does not give me services, can I say I will get that money back in future? Yes or no? I've given one advance service, advance payment in expectation that I'll get the service or get the goods. That fellow did not give me the service. That fellow did not deliver the goods. So you will expect your money back, no? If anything that comes to you in future becomes your
Asset.
Bhavan's feeling sleepy? Thoda bahut. Panic. Fresh ho jaye. This is asset. I'll be discussing about this in detail when I do the journal chapter. Income. Outstanding is the word, but here they're given a new name. Instead of outstanding, it is accrued. But nature is same. Pending income. Accrued income means I've given my service, but money is yet to come. So money will come to me in future. Anything that comes to me in future is asset. Then income received in advance. I've got the advance. If I don't give the service, can I say I have to pay that money back to you in future? Until I give the service, that money is a liability for me. Because if I don't give service, I have to repay that back to you. So until I give service, that money is my liability. So all these are the nature of assets or liabilities. So those are the 4 extraordinary items. 4 extraordinary items. Comfortable? Next, guys, sales account. What flavor do you get? Income flavor. So this is income. Being an income, which rule will you look up to? Nominal. Nominal says that if your income, expense, gain, loss, come to me. I'll give you the rule. So this is income. So this is nominal account. Nominal account. Debit, credit, we are not deciding. We are only deciding which rule they belong to. Next is accrued interest. Just now we discussed. Accrued interest, 4 extraordinary items. 4 extraordinary items. Accrued interest, outstanding interest. So accrued means what? Accrued represents income. Outstanding represents expense. See, outstanding, accrued, both are pending. Why haven't they given outstanding name? Because this interest, accrued ke saath if interest comes, it means income. Outstanding ke saath if interest comes means expense. So outstanding interest means interest payable, which I'll pay in future, liability. Accrued interest means receivable in future. Anything that I receive in future is asset. So asset quadrant. And this, the rule what will follows?
Real.
Representative personal account. Representative personal account. 4 extraordinary items. Blindly representative personal account. These 4 cases, where will they come? Representative personal account. Very simple. Leasehold property. I've taken the property on lease. Lease means not rent. Rental property is different. Lease means what? In Tamil we say bogyam. In Hindi I don't know what do we say. Wherein if I want this place, I will give 20 lakh rupees to that person. Okay, and he'll give me on lease for let's suppose 5 years or 10 years. I don't have to pay him any rent. What will he do? He will put that 20 lakh rupees in bank and earn interest. That interest will be equal to the rent what he's expecting from you. See, for example, if I want to give a property on rent for 20,000 rupees. So I have a difficulty. I don't want to give 20,000 rupees rent every time. So instead I tell that you take 20 lakh rupees or you will take 30 lakh rupees. I'll give you 30 lakh rupees. In future, you have to refund me this money. So I will give this 30 lakh rupees to the owner. Owner will repay this money back to me in future whenever I vacate. What will the owner do with this 30 lakh? He will put this money in bank, earn interest. which will be equal to the rental. No, so leasehold property. So I've taken property on leasehold and I've paid 30 lakh. So from I have paid 30 lakh, business has paid 30 lakh. This money will come back to me in future. No, this is not my expense. It is my leasehold property. I have given the money. See, I'm a tenant. I've given 30 lakh rupees as a business. I'm running this academy. I've given 30 lakh rupees to the owner of this property. When I vacate this property, he will give me this 30 lakh back. So leasehold property. So if I get this property,
Yes.
like by paying 30 lakh, this is called as a leasehold property. I'm holding it on lease for, let's suppose, 5 years or 10 years, whatever period I'm agreeing. So after the period is getting over, that money will come back to me now. So that 30 lakh rupees which is gone from my hand as of now will come back to me after 5 or 10 years. So it is asset. It is asset. So asset, and the rule that will follow is real account. So when I pay this 30 lakh rupees, what is coming inside? Property is coming inside. Debit what comes in. And cash is going outside. So cash is going out, cash will be credited. So leasehold property, this property is belonging to me for at least 5 years. Are you able to follow? One is I buy the property. When I buy the property, I become the owner. Second, I take the property on lease where I give 30-40 lakh rupees for 5-10 years. I will not pay anything in rent. Whatever the rent expectation the owner has, he will satisfy that by investing that 10 lakh somewhere and get that income out of it. That is called as leasehold property. Third is rental property. So I will not give 30-40 lakh. I'll give 1 or 2 lakh rupees advance. And I'll give monthly rental. So that becomes a rental property. Are you able to follow? So this is leasehold property. So when I pay 30 lakh rupees, I'm getting a property for 5 years or 10 years, whatever the period we are agreeing. So I'm keeping that for 5 or 10 years. So that property is belonging to me for 5 or 10 years. So when I pay the money 30 lakh rupees, leasehold property is coming inside my books of accounts. So real account. Drawings. Expenses. What is expenses, guys? What did we learn the meaning of expenses? Expenses is the money incurred or money spent to earn income. Expenses means I spend money to earn income. If I do some expenditure, that should help me in generating the income. Now I pay rent. Can I say rent is paid because I'm using this property to earn income? So rent is my expenses. Drawing, is it an expense? Drawing is the money that the owner is withdrawing from the business in form of capital or in form of profit. So this is the money withdrawn. Drawing is done by whom? Owner, for his personal purpose. Drawing is done by whom? Who does drawing? Owner has the only right to do the drawing. Drawing means what? Withdrawing the money. For what purpose? For personal purpose. So drawing has got the impact of reducing the capital. So if capital is belonging to liability, drawing will also belong to liability. So here the rule that you will follow is personal account. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. We have studied business entity concept, accounting entity concept.
Yes, sir.
Business entity concept, accounting entity concept, which says that business and owner are to be treated as two different people. So this is, let's suppose, owner, and this is, let's suppose, business. Owner is giving the capital of, let's suppose, 5 lakh rupees to business. From business point of view, this owner, can I say, is a natural personal account? So from business point of view, opposite person is the natural personal account. I will credit him because he's the giver. Credit the giver. So when capital is coming inside, capital will be credited. Because credit the giver, opposite person is giving. And this money is a liability because from business point of view, whatever money comes inside, I have to repay him back in future. This is liability. So let's suppose business has given 1 lakh rupees back to him for his personal purposes. Can I call this 1 lakh as drawing? This money is given to whom? Owner. So again, the opposite person is a natural personal account. So same rule is applied. Debit the receiver. Now the person is receiving the money. From business point of view, owner is receiver of 1 lakh. So here drawing, I will debit. So rule is what? Debit the receiver. Opposite person is receiving the money. I told you in personal account, you will not think from the business point of view. Business will think from the opposite person's point of view. Are you the receiver or are you the giver? In case of capital, opposite person is the giver, so credit the giver. From the drawing point of view, opposite person is receiving, so debit the receiver. So the rule that we follow is personal account. For both of them, it is personal account. Okay, not okay? All in people, okay, not okay?
Yes, sir.
All of you clear with this? Offline people, hello, clear? Vishti, clear? Next, discount received. You go to a shopping mall. You purchase clothes worth 25,000 rupees. If you buy 25,000 worth of clothes, there is a voucher of 5,000 rupees. If that voucher is not there, you'll have to pay 25,000. If that voucher is there, discount voucher is there. If you have a discount voucher, you will be saving 5,000 rupees. So you're getting a discount of 5,000 rupees. That discount of 5,000 rupees, is it not gain for you? So can I say discount? Whenever we get discount from anybody, if I give you a discount, I give you a discount 20,000 worth plus I give it for 16, 17, 18,000 rupees. So discount. So for you, was it the gain or not? Gain. So gain is the quadrant. Flavor is gain. So what rule will you apply?
Nominal.
Gain, nominal. Comfortable? Drawing was liability, personal. Till this clear? No doubts. Next is bad debt written off. What is the meaning of bad debt? Here is not for money, it is customer and business. So this bad debt is coming in the context of credit sale. So business sold the goods on credit to the customer. Can I say this customer will become the debtor? From business point of view, this customer is a debtor because from him I have to receive the money in future. So this fellow says that, get lost, I'm not paying you the money. Isn't it a loss for you? It is a loss. The name of the loss here, I have to give a name for the loss. Now, the loss is termed as a bad debt. If the debtor does not pay the money, then that loss is called as bad debt. Bad debt. Bad debt write-off means what? Bad debt to be recorded. Write-off means what? To be recorded. So if I record the bad debt, what is it for me? Loss. So if it is a loss, we'll go up to which? We'll look up to which account? Nominal account.
Nominal.
Is it clear? Bad debt is a loss which happens only in the context of credit sale, not in either case. Now, as Purvi said that, sir, if I give money, if that opposite person doesn't pay, that is also a kind of bad debt. But here in your syllabus, bad debt, more it is coming in form of a credit sale. Next is purchases. Very easy. Expenses. So expenses means nominal account. What happened? क्या बोला वो? Purchase asset में आएगा बिटू? Purchase में asset में आएगा? वाह 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 वाह, बहुत बढ़िया. Purchase क्या हो बच्चा तेरा? पक्का? Starting से क्लास लूंगा फिर तेरी में. Bad debts recovered. Bad debt हो गया, which means that gentleman said that I'm not paying the money. Why did he say that he's not paying money? He become bankrupt. He become pauper. He said that I don't have any money. No, now that is a different case, not applicable here. So wait. That person said that maybe genuine reason. Some people go bankrupt, they go pauper. They don't have money. What to do? If you remember that one movie in Tamil is there, Shivaji, Rajnikant movie. In somewhere in the middle of the movie, Shivaji becomes bankrupt, means Rajnikant goes bankrupt. So the court orders, the certain government officials to go to his house and make a note of all the belongings of him. His, like how much cars he has, how much property he has, what all he has. So they make a note. Because Shivaji is supposed to pay crores of rupees. He's not having money to pay. So court will appoint an official receiver who will be in charge of selling all those assets and recovering the money and giving it to the person to whom it belongs to. So in that, it happens that, everybody is kicked out of the house and Rajnikant is wearing his Rolex watch. So when he's going out, that official receiver, the government official stops. So your Rolex watch is also in my list. Give me. Because Rolex is for lakhs of rupees. No? So genuinely, some people go bankrupt. They don't have money. Where will they give? Let's suppose you have to pay 1,000 crore of rupees. By selling all the properties, you could only recover 900 crores. Back 100 crores is bad, it gone. Now later what happens in that movie? Shivaji makes 10,000 times more money than what he has lost or what he had earlier had. So again, can I say he became a rich person? Now that fellow is coming and telling, take your 100 crores. So 100 crores which you earlier recorded as bad debt, now he's coming and giving. Isn't that recovered? Isn't that recovered? And the money which was treated as earlier loss, now when it comes, can I say it is not gain for you? It will be gain for you now. Earlier you treated it as loss. So to knock off the loss, to cancel the loss, I have to give a gain. So the 100 crore rupees is treated as gain. So what is the flavor here? Bad debt recovered. The loss is recovered. So recovery of a loss, isn't it a gain for you? So this is a gain. The flavor of gain, nominal account. Plant and machinery. Asset, real account. Yeah. Capital. Wonderful, gain. Who's that? Capital gain. Kahan se gain hua? Gain up. Capital. Who's giving capital? Who is giving capital? Owner is giving. So owner, you are a natural personal account. Liability is the quadrant. Liability is the quadrant. You are the natural personal account. Who gives capital? Can a creditor gives capital? Can bank give capital? Only owner can give capital. Capital is something you can get only from the owner. So owner, who are you? I'm a natural personal account or artificial personal account in some cases. So the rule that is applicable is personal account. So this is liability and natural personal account in most of the cases. In very few cases, artificial personal account. Interest paid. Expense. Paid means you thought cash is going out. Like that. See, interest paid is got two accounts. Interest, expense, cash is going out. So here they're focusing on interest. So interest pay, when will happen? If it is my expense, I'll pay, no? If anything is my income, I will pay. Expense pay, only you pay. Only upon expense you pay. So interest paid is an expense. The flavor is expense and nominal account is a rule. Bank overdraft. Now, what is bank overdraft? What is savings account? What is current account? What is fixed deposit account? I'll be discussing this in detail in the bank reconciliation statement chapter. As of now, just remember, bank overdraft is a liability. Bank overdraft. Overdraft means over withdrawn. You are withdrawing the money from the bank more than what you have. Let's suppose in the bank account, when you opened the bank account, you had 1 lakh rupees. But when you withdrew 2.5 lakh rupees. So extra, how much did you withdraw? So how can you withdraw if you don't have that money? So who gave you that money? Bank has given you as a loan. So the nature of this, how it works, I'll be discussing in detail. Yes, but wait, I'm not going in detail. I told you in BRS chapter, I'll be discussing in detail. Yeah, so this is the loan amount. So this is 2.5 lakh rupees. 1.5 lakh rupees is the additional money we're getting. So which we have to repay in future. So bank overdraft is a liability which we have to repay in future. So this is my liability and the rule is artificial personal account. I know you'll have, you have to pay interest. So interest is a different transaction. Taking loan is a different transaction. Paying interest on that is a different transaction. So now what is bank overdraft? What is term loan? What is cash credit? What is savings account? What is current account? All that I'll be discussing in detail in the BRS chapter. And that information you would not get to hear from anyone. That is my assurance. And all the examples that I share will be 100% practically happening around what you would see. So have patience till BRS chapter, guys. I'll be discussing about this in detail. Prepaid rent. Prepaid rent. Rent is what? Expense. Prepaid expense. So it is asset liability, asset liability. Prepaid asset because I paid the rent in advance. If I do not get an opportunity, to utilize that premises, then I have to get that money back in future. So until I use this premises, that is my money. So it will come back to me in future asset. So it is representative personal account. Niharika and Ananya, please participate. Only then you will be able to follow.
Yes, sir.
Next is carriage inward. Carriage means what? Transportation, freight, expenses. Now, what is the significance of the word inward? Inward means when I buy the goods, when I purchase the goods. Let's suppose I'm buying the goods from Delhi. So from Delhi, I need to transport the goods to Coimbatore, right? So I have to pay the transportation charge. So the transportation charges is on purchase. When I purchase, the goods come inside. So carriage means transportation charges. Inward means it is the expenditure on the goods that is coming inside. So when does goods come inside? Upon the purchase. So it is expense only. So carriage is by default expense. But this carriage inward is a transportation cost on the purchase. There is something called as carriage outward. Carriage means transportation. Outward means when the goods is going out. So when does the goods go out? When I sell it. When I'm delivering the goods. So let's suppose I'm delivering the goods from my shop to the customer place. Let's suppose I'm buying TV. Let's suppose I'm a AC or a TV electronic item shopkeeper. So I have to do the home delivery now. So from my shop, I have to make the transportation to whom? Customer. So I bear the I bear the transportation charges. So it is carriage charges. Goods is going outward or coming inside? Outward. Outward upon when? Sales. So carriage outward is the transportation charges for sales. Carriage inward is the transportation charges for the purchaser. Now, in both the cases, it is expenses. But why this difference? Why the difference? You will understand when you do the trading in PL. The difference is very important because one expense will go to the trading account, another expense will go to the P&L account. So why and what will go to trading account? Why and what will go to P&L account? That is something you get to see in the trading and P&L chapter. As of now, from your point of view, carriage is an expense. So expense flavor, nominal rule. Goodwill is an intangible asset. Now, what is intangible asset? What is goodwill? About goodwill, you'll understand in detail in the 12th standard. In the partnership chapter, I have an exclusive chapter only on goodwill. So we'll be discussing in detail in 12th standard. So as of now, just remember goodwill is an intangible asset. It is an asset. I cannot touch it. So it is intangible. So intangible asset. Intangible asset, which is real account rule. You don't understand if I tell basics also. Because if I have to tell the basics, I have to tell the whole story. And if I start telling the story, then you know I'll not stop. I can talk at least half an hour on goodwill to explain you what is goodwill. As of now, in short, if I have to tell, goodwill is the reputation or the brand image. This is what you'll get to hear from everyone. But when I start speaking on it, you'll get a lot of information, which will be more meaningful than the word, what is it? Brand and reputation. Brand and reputation is just the way of explaining it. But the real meaning you'll understand when I explain that for half an hour, which I'll do it in the 12th standard only. So until then, you have to wait. So these are the solutions, guys. You can cross check. Done? Can we go to the next question? Illustration 2.
Yes, sir.
Now the warm-up is done, guys. Now I want to answer very faster. Ananya, Niharika, what do you say? We'll go fast.
Yes, sir.
State the nature of accounts, whether it is personal, real, or nominal, and show which will be debited and which will be credited. Okay? First option is rent received. Rent received is a transaction. So first it has to be a business financial transaction. Second, it has to be measured in terms of money. So rent received, nothing is mentioned. So it is in the business point of view. And obviously rent comes with a value. So identify how many accounts are affected here. One is rent account. Rent received. They have not mentioned whether received in cash or check. Nothing is mentioned. So in the absence of information, always we'll presume that money is received in cash. So rent account and cash account, two are affected. Rent is my rent received. When will I receive something? If it is only my income. So which quadrant it belongs to? Identify the quadrant. So rent is the income quadrant. So income, what is the rule? Nominal rule. And what is the rule? Debit all expense and losses, credit all income and gain. So I'll credit it. Cash, can I say asset? Rule is real. When I receive the rent, cash will come in or go out? Come in. So debit what? Comes in. Debit. Here they have only treated one account, which is the main account. Rent received, this entire transaction, when you receive something, when you pay something, if it is expense, if it is income, they are not considering the cash or bank perspective. They only are considering the only one aspect they're considering, which is this perspective. For example, machinery purchased, again two accounts affected, machinery account and cash account. So here in this entire question, they're ignoring cash. They're only focusing on one account. Because in all the cases, guys, one thing is common, which is cash. So you know what you have to do with cash. So they're not focusing on cash. They're focusing on the other part of the transaction. But I will do both for you. Okay. So machinery purchased. Machinery purchased, which two accounts affected? Sorry? Answers. Oh, sorry. Sincere. Huh? Machinery, two accounts affected. One is?
Purchase.
Not purchase. Oh. What is the meaning of purchase, my dear friends? What is purchase? Purchase means I buy something with the intention to resell. Are you buying the machinery with the intention to resell? The intention is to use. So this becomes my capital expenditure. If I buy something with the intention to resell, that is my revenue expenditure. If I buy something with the intention to use it, it becomes my capital expenditure. I meant to discuss what is revenue and capital. So machinery account is affected. Second is when I purchase machinery, can I say cash or bank is affected? Here, let's only talk about cash because they have not specified what mode I have done the payment. Cash mode or bank mode is not specified. So in the absence of information, always it is cash. So second account that is affected is cash. Machinery and cash. Guys, purchase will not come. Do not get carried away with the word purchase. Purchase will happen only for those, that is, something will be recorded. Something will be recorded in the purchase account only if I buy something with the intention to resell. Machinery I buy with the intention to use it. So let's suppose I am the businessman or the trader of buying and selling machinery. In that case, the machinery becomes my goods stock. Then that machinery becomes my purchase. But here, anywhere in the question, have they told that you're in the business of buying and selling machinery? No, which means you are buying it for the purpose of using it. So anything you buy with the intention to use it, it is your capital expenditure. Capital expenditure means it will go to the balance sheet, which means it will go to the asset. So machinery is asset. Rule is real account. If I buy machinery, machinery will come inside the business or go outside. So will you debit or credit? Debit what comes in? Cash. When I buy the machinery, money goes out of the business. So cash is asset. Asset means real account. And I'll credit because cash is going out. Machinery, real, debited. Machinery, real, debited. Any problem?
No, sir.
Now, guys, it says goods purchased. Goods purchased. Goods. Why do you buy goods? The intention is to resell. So the account that is affected is
Purchase.
Purchase. And second, when I buy the goods, I will make the payment. Here, did they say that it's a credit purchase?
No.
Nothing is mentioned. So assumption is cash. So purchase and cash. Purchase I need to capture because purchase is my expense. No. So I need to record my expense, only then my profit will be correct. So it is expense. Nominal. So nominal says what? Debit all expense and losses. When I purchase, is cash coming in or going out? Going out. So cash is asset. Real. Credit what goes out? Yes, boss. Always. That is the rule now. The expense means debit yourself. Expenses will always be in debit. Capital introduced. First account. Two accounts. Which two accounts are affected?
Capital and
Capital account and cash account.
cash.
In what mode he is giving capital is not told. Whether is giving in cash, check, kind, nothing is mentioned. So assumption is always cash. So it is capital. Capital is a liability. Liability means
Personal.
natural personal account. The opposite person is giving capital. Is he the giver of capital or is he the receiver of capital? He is giving the capital. Debit the receiver. Debit the receiver, credit the giver.
Credit.
So credit will be the capital account. Opposite person, what is he doing? ask what business is doing. Is the business receiver or giver? That point of view is not valid. Opposite person. Is he the receiver or giver? So here the opposite person is owner. Owner is the giver of capital. So credit the giver. Cash. I mean, the opposite person is giving money. My cash is coming inside. Now the cash is business is receiving cash. So asset, real account, debit what comes in. So one debit, another credit. That is the reason you have to specify which rule. Both are coming in means both are both real account. Cash is coming in. It is asset. Capital is not coming in. Capital nature is liability. I have to repay this money back in future. The perspective is changing. Cash is a different point of view. Capital is a different point of view. Capital is always liability. Which liability it is? Internal liability. So liability is natural personal account. Credit the giver. Easy. Here, rent paid. One account is rent account. Another is cash account. Rent is my expense.
Expense.
Nominal account. Debit all expense and losses. When I make the payment, cash is asset. Real account rule. Credit what goes out. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Interest received. Interest account because I need to record my income was. And second is cash.
Cash.
Interest is my income.
Gain.
Income. I can say more specifically income. Nominal.
Credit.
Debit all income. Credit. Cash nature.
Asset.
Rule.
Real.
Cash is coming in or going out.
Coming.
Interest received. Received.
Coming.
Cash is coming in. So debit or credit.
Debit.
Debit what comes in. Debit what comes in. You remember when we used to study in first standard, second standard, that multiplication table. 1 ones are 1, 1 twos are 2. Remember that? Same thing you have to do. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Debit all expense and losses, credit all incomes. Get into that zone, you will never forget it. You have that experience, no? He's like, hey? Next, building sold. Which two accounts? Building account.
Sales account.
Sales account. Tell me one thing. Are you in the business of buying and selling building? What do I record in my sales account? I mean, if I buy some goods with the intention to, very good. Next level, expenses. I sold and it is expense. So I will sell the building. I will pay the money. Wow, wow, wow. I would like to have this person as my customer. Building sold. First of all, let me clarify. It is not sale. Why? Because the goods which I buy with the intention to resell, only that I can sell. Building, did you buy with the intention to sell it or use it? When you bought the building, what is the intention behind purchasing the building? To use it. So that building was your asset. Now that is being sold. So can I say building is going out? Building is my asset, real account. Now when I sell the building, from my hand, the building is going out. Credit what goes out. Second, when I sell the building, will I sell it free of cost? I'll get money. So cash account is affected. Cash is asset, real. When I sell the building, money comes in.
Debit.
Now tell me how much is expense, my dear friend? By doing sales, expense will go. Wow, wow, wow. Next level now. Now clear. Discount allowed. Who is allowing discount? We are not allowing. Opposite person is allowing to us. Because even business can go and purchase now. So, okay, you tell. Who is allowing? We, our point of view, opposite person point of view. Discount allowed. Who will allow? We. Business point of view. Discount received means discount allowed. Accounting from business point of view. So business is allowing. I will talk about my allowing now. Why will I talk about his allowing? Discount allowed. So for us, it is what? Loss. So discount allowed. So discount is one account. Another is
Cash.
discount is
Loss.
nominal.
Nominal.
Cash.
Asset. Receivable. Credit.
This discount, I will just give you a hint. It is a cash discount. So what is a cash discount? I'll discuss in detail in the journal chapter. I know you've studied. Control. I'll discuss about this in detail in journal chapter. Goods sold. Expense. Tell no expense. कौन से सर ने बोला भाई तो सर को बदल दे तो सर को बदल सब गलत सिखा रहा है गुड सोल्ड so which two accounts affected
Sales account and cash.
sales account because I need to record my income so it is income nominal account debit wonderful he's saying expenses he's telling okay debit let's do debit credit all incomes and gain hello debit all expenses losses credit all incomes and gains okay listen to me very carefully building do you buy with the intention to resell or do you buy with the intention to use it building purchased with the intention to resell means I am a property dealer anywhere in the question they tell that I am a property dealer in general parlance who are majority people in the business are the property dealer no we are normal business people so normal business people what they do they buy the building with the intention to use what is a majority if had this been a property what you call dealer then the question would have stated that this person is a property dealer had this one person been a property dealer buying and selling building so for him building is a stock then in that case building becomes sales but here in normal trade parlances building is an asset to be used so here sales account will not be affected building and cash will be affected building why because it is asset cash why because when I sell the building money is going out or coming in when I tell goods sold goods means what anything that is purchased with intention to resell that's why I've told in the basic accounting terms that's why I told revision is very important each and every word that I've taught you there will 100% be applied cross applied in all the chapters so goods sold when I do the sales I need to record my income so sale income nominal account credit all incomes and gains second aspect when I do the sales I'll get the money so cash have they specified what mode the money is coming in cash or bank no so assumption is cash so cash is asset real account cash is coming in or going out coming in so debit what comes in okay not okay Ananya
Yes,
Niharika,
sir.
comfortable
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
so here they have only see if you see in all this case one thing is common cash so one thing which is common no they have omitted their only focus is on the other part of the transaction because for cash you know what is the rule same rule will apply what is the point so they omitted that and they focused on the other part which is the changing part every transaction you see something is interest something is building something is discount is changing so other part only they focused on doing this question so we'll take a break of 5 minutes and then continue with illustration 3. Yes, people, welcome back from break. So let's continue with illustration 3. It says that from the following transactions, state the nature of account. What does the nature of account means? Personal, real or nominal. And state which account will be debited, which account will be credited. So same way the way we solved the above question. I'm not strictly following the presentation. The presentation will do the way the textbook has done it, but I'll be doing it in short. Mohan started business with cash. So first of all, is this a business financial transaction?
Yes.
Second, it is measurable in terms of money because I have a monetary value. So now you have to identify here which two accounts are affected.
Capital and
Capital account and
cash.
Capital, what is the nature? Quadrant, which quadrant? Liability quadrant, nature is liability. Being a liability, the only account of rule that you can follow is personal account. So personal account says what? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So who's the receiver, who's the giver? Giver is the owner. From whose point of view we'll see? Owner's point of view, opposite person's point of view. So he is giver. So we'll debit him or credit him. Credit. So credit the giver. Cash is, guys, what nature?
Asset.
Asset. What rule? Real.
Real.
What is the thing? So when I say Mohan has contributed capital, so cash is coming inside the business or going out? Coming in. So what will I do? Debit what comes in. Debit what comes in. So look at the presentation. Mohan started business with 5 lakh rupees in cash. Accounts involved cash and capital. Cash is real, capital is personal. So cash account will be debited. And capital account is credited. Debit credit alone, if you write, is not sufficient. In the debit column, what amount? Credit column, what amount? And I told you once you record, both debit and credit should be equal. So can I say the total of debit and the total of credit is equal? This is not journal entry. This is one step ahead of journal entry. You can say this is the preliminary to journal entry. Now this, if I write in this form, cash account debit, there's a particular format in how you have to present the journal. So cash account debit to capital account, 5 lakh, 5 lakh. This journal is completed. So it is almost, you can say 99% they are near. Just if you write this in a particular format, then you're done with journal. So what is the reason here? They've told that cash is real, comes in. Debit what comes in? Debit what comes in? Sorry? This is normal presentation. This is a solution that has been given. It's a normal presentation. There's no format that you have to do it in this way. Here they have done in such a way. So what is the requirement? They're asking you to identify which account it is affected. What nature? And will you debit something or credit something? Now here for additional information, they're given the reason. If I'm debiting something, why? If I'm crediting something, why? The reason is given. That's it. So if this kind of question comes, you can follow this format. Nothing wrong. And capital is what? Credited. 5 lakh because he is the giver. So what I did here is just a rough way of presenting. You're not supposed to present this way. You have to neatly present professionally. Clear? Now, next is purchase goods for cash. Purchase goods for cash. What will happen to goods? Correct. But what will I open goods account?
Purchase.
Taken care at the end of the year by passing an adjustment entry. So don't worry about the goods now. So the two accounts that is affected is purchase and cash. Yes. Purchase, cash. Purchase, what is the quadrant? Expense quadrant. Nature is expense. Being an expense, you'll look up to which rule?
Nominal.
Nominal. And nominal says what? Debit all expense and loss.
Debit.
Cash.
Asset.
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 Which rule?
Real.
Real. Here money is coming in or going out? Credit what goes out? Cash is going out, so credit. Simple. Purchase account, nominal, 1 lakh debited because it is debit all expense and losses. Cash, real, credited because it is going out. Any difficulty? Ananya Niharika, any
No,
difficulty?
sir.
No, sir.
Next is sold goods for cash.
Sales and cash.
What will happen to goods? At the end, it will be taken care of by adjustment.
Adjust.
So here the two accounts that is affected is
Sales and cash.
what is the nature of sales? Quadrant.
Income.
Income. So which rule you look up to?
Nominal.
Nominal. And the rule is debit all expense and losses, credit all income and gain. So credit, income. Cash,
Asset.
asset. The rule that you look up to?
Real.
Real. So when I sell the goods, cash will come in or go out? Come in. So
Come
credit
in.
what comes in. Receive interest from Ram in cash. So interest is one option, Ram is another option, cash is another option. It is a credit transaction.
Cash transaction.
Credit transaction. Oh wow. Cash दिया है तो credit transaction. So cash transaction. Cash transaction. Tanish, comfortable? Right? No problem. No. ठीक. Receive interest from Ram and cash. So one is cash account. Another is interest. Why I need to record? Because income I need to record.
It's income. Yeah.
I need to record. Ram, why I'm not recording is because he's paying cash. When he's paying the payment, why should I need to remember his name? So cash and interest. Cash is what? भाई देखो बुरा नहीं लग रहा ना, मजा करने के लिए मेरे को एक दो लोग चाहिए. Cash asset. What will I do? Tanish, क्या करेगा? Cash is coming in or going out? Received interest coming in. So, super.
Debit.
Interest. Income nature.
Income.
Applicable rule.
Nominal.
Nominal. Credit comes and gains. Simple. Now here, guys, whenever you do a question by yourself, some questions you will get it 100% right, which means that you have understood very nicely. Those are easy questions for you. If that question gets repeated in future, 100% not make mistake. Those are easy questions. Some questions lightly you get confused. I call it as a medium level questions, which means once you'll make mistake, but second time will not make the mistake. And third is another type of question which is slightly tricky. You might make mistake 1 or 2 times, so you have to revise multiple times in order to remember. So when you do the practical questions, classify the questions whether it is easy, medium, or difficult. For example, if this is easy, you can say this is medium, or maybe this is tough. The reason being, easy questions, if you don't revise for even 1 or 2 months, you will be able to manage. Medium question, maybe you have to revise within 1 month. Tough questions, maybe 3 times you have to revise as per my format. So if you have this habit, you are structuring what is what and how you have to study. So this is called a smart way of studying. The one is you keep on studying everything. And you have so many questions, guys. If you don't mark what is easy, what is medium, tough, before exam, what question to see, what questions not to see, what idea will you have? If you allocate which question is what category, so before exam, you will 100% go through medium and tough questions. Easy questions, even if you don't go through, you'll be able to manage it. So this is called a smart working. If you adopt this mechanism for all the practical questions, guys, from today onwards, make a habit that you'll make a note of what category of question it is, mark it. So that the frequency of revision will depend on that. Tough questions mean maybe 3 times revision. Medium question, 2 times revision. Easy questions, 1 time revision. That's all. This is called a smart way of learning. Ananya, am I clear with what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Great. Next. Sold goods to Ashok. First of all, is it a business financial transaction?
Yes.
Have a monetary value to it?
Yes.
Monetary value to it. Second, which 2 accounts are affected?
Sales and cash.
Sales and Ashok. So if Ashok account is affected, what kind of a transaction is it? It is a credit transaction. I need to remember this fellow's name. If I don't remember this fellow's name, what if this fellow does not pay them, makes the payment in future? If I don't write it down somewhere, I'll forget it. So writing down his name is important. So sale is what? Nature, flavor.
Income.
Rule.
Nominal.
Credit or credit? Debit all expense and losses, credit all income and gain. Ashok, in a layman language, if I ask you, Ashok is my party or customer? Ashok is party or customer?
Customer.
Sold goods to Ashok. So from business point of view, Ashok is customer. How is party? Party means I meant supplier. Party means supplier of the goods. Creditor. So here Ashok is customer. Okay, he got confused because in local business language also party means customer. Yeah, so that's how he told. That's fine, I got it. So Ashok is my customer. Technically, in accounting, what do we call customer as? No. In one word. Technically, in one word, customer is called as. I've given, we've learned a new name. Debtor. Accounting, what do we call customer? Debtor. So debtor is coming under which category, which quadrant?
Yes.
So you will sell goods to Ashok, you will pay him the money in future. Ashok is debtor. Ashok is debtor. Debtor is asset. Asset ka do rule, real and personal. If debtor goes to the real account house, they will kick him out because you are a human being. Ashok is a human being. So natural personal account. Hello. Natural personal account. So now guys, will you debit Ashok or credit Ashok? Because he is the receiver of goods. So debit the receiver. Now got confused now. So this transaction you should mark it as tough. For some it will be medium. For some it will be easy. For you what it is, you have to decide. For me all this is easy. Ananya Niharika, comfortable?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. Purchased furniture for cash.
Furniture and cash.
Purchase account. Purchase account will not come. Why? Purchase,
We're gonna
When
use
he's
it.
selling the
Yeah.
purchase account will come into picture only if we were into the business of buying and selling furniture. Anywhere in the question they mentioned that we are in the business of buying and selling furniture? No. So which means the intention of buying the furniture is to use. So purchase account will not be affected. Furniture and cash. Furniture account, cash account. Furniture, what is the nature? Because I own it.
Yes, sir.
Asset, I own it. Real account.
Real.
Debit, what comes in? If I
Debit.
buy the furniture, furniture comes in. No. Debit, what comes in? Debit, what comes in? Cash is
Asset.
asset, real account.
Real.
When I buy the furniture, furniture comes in, cash goes out.
Credit.
credit.
Simple. Credit, what goes out? Next, paid wages. Wages, yes. Wages account, paid, but the mode is not mentioned. So the assumption will always be
Cash.
if they say if they told paid wages to person, name is given, mode is not mentioned means credit transaction. Because for me to record somebody's name, the name should be given now. So wages is what? Nature.
Expense.
Expense. So which rule?
Nominal.
Nominal.
Debit.
Debit all expense and losses. Cash.
Asset.
Asset.
Real.
Real.
Credit what goes out.
Credit.
If you're clear with this, let me tell you, 70% of your journal is done. 70% of your journal chapter is done. Only 30% I have to handhold you with the complicated aspects. If this is done, 70% of your journal is done. Imagine. If this is done, 70% of your ledger is done. Only I need to teach the 30% formatting and the complications. How do we balance? What will be put where? If this is done, 70% of your trial balance is done. If this is done, 70% of your trading P&L is done. So what do you understand with this? If this is done, 70% of accounts is done. Remaining 30, yeah, he's right. Remaining 30% is only to understand the format, the procedure. What will happen if you do this step? What will happen if you do that step? Technically speaking. But again, accounting is only not about this debit and credit. There are a lot of things. A lot of things. So I would not say 70% is done. That is just for fun, I said. But yeah, majorly it is done. And this is the base for all the upcoming chapters. Comfortable? Yes.
Yes, sir.
And what if I tell you this golden rule is not 100%? This golden rule is a failure. To overcome this failure, we'll be learning a new approach called as modern approach. You've seen all those questions where the golden rule is applicable. You have not started seeing the questions where the golden rule is failure. So next class. Next class. Suspense. I always end my class with suspense so that you have the craving to come for next class. So now that you are going outstation on Saturday, you decide whether you want class or outstation. So I'll be telling how a golden rule is a failure. I'll be giving examples. And in the entire 11th, we'll be giving equal importance to both the rule. At the moment you come in 12th, I will not even think about golden rule. The only dada that will follow is modern classification. I'll prove it to you why golden rule is a failure, but in next class. So with that suspense, guys, I will wind up today's session. I'll see you all in the next class. Until then, bye-bye. See you. Take care.